Hello. Is this thing on? I think this thing's on. Cool. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Daily weather report. It is still some snow on the ground, but it is above freezing. The snow is melting. The sky is blue. It's just a lovely day here in Victoria, BC, Canada. But for better or for worse, I'm inside here to teach the world about Game Boy game programming. Yesterday we released the first or second beta of Bust Free, the breakout clone that I'm working on. You can see it in action here. And it's coming along really nicely. It is basically a functional, sort of a functional game right now. So what are some changes that I want to make? Well, I've got those queued up in this to-do file. A big thing that I want to do is I want to make the bricks 8x4 so that they're long instead of 8x8, which will increase the complexity of the levels that we can build. This is what Alleyway, the Nintendo-made breakout clone for the Game Boy, does. So I think I'd like to do that. I have this question mark next to maybe improve collision detection. The collision detection right now seems okay to me. I know I do some hacks. Like I only use the center of the ball instead of using a box around the ball or anything like that. And it feels okay to me. I'm just a little worried that once we start having even smaller bricks, it's just not going to be precise enough. You're going to start getting some weird behavior that's going to take away from the fun of the game. So I have that as a question mark thing to do. Some other things I'm thinking about are adding some animation so that the ball, you can visually see the ball spinning around. You maybe will have some sort of special effect when the bricks explode. Maybe the paddle will make like a little trampoline looking bounce when the ball hits it. Just some things I need to think about. A nicer title screen, obviously that's an absolute must. Just in terms of making the game a little more sophisticated, adding extra lives. Right now, balancing the game would be nice. It's actually really, really hard. Like, I don't claim to be like a world breakout champion or anything like that, but it's like unpleasantly difficult right now. So, finding some ways to make this game actually fun by improving the balance would be, I think, a good idea. What else do we have? Slow down ball speed up is actually a really easy thing that I should do just like right away, just to knock it out. Right now the ball goes from its like slow starting speed to, it actually starts a little too fast as well, I think. To maximum speed really, really quickly. So I just need to slow the ball down in general so that's a little more fun to play. A better make file is a real possibility. Right now I just use a simple batch file. I need to manually put in every single ASM file, every single object file. It's not very nice. So improving that would be a good call. An ending. Right now, if you clear all the bricks, even though that's basically impossible, the game just says game over. Not very fun. Sound and music. I'm probably going to use an existing open source driver for these, rather than trying to write my own sound engine. I've sort of done that before. I think it's up on GitHub. Although I've never really exercised it properly, but I guarantee that the ones available on the internet are better than mine, so I might as well just take advantage of that. Some refactorings. I was thinking about a high score table, multiple levels, power-ups, multi-ball, power-ups like multi-ball, like a laser that you can shoot, like some sort of power-up. I think like this is sometimes called like a spike ball or something, so that it'll just like plow through the bricks instead of bouncing against them. Just things to add some sophistication to the game. Enemies, indestructible bricks or bricks that take multiple hits to destroy. Just a variety of different bricks that we could use to spice the game up. Super Game Boy support and some kind of like border or background for the play area. These I don't know if I'm going to get to these two in particular, but we'll see. I only have so long to work on this before I need to start getting a real job. And if I do that, any hobby Game Boy programming that I'm going to be doing is probably going to be on, I don't know, something a little more ambitious than just a breakout to stream for you guys, because my time will be very limited. Hi Tom, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. So let's get started. I did say that adjusting the speeds would be like a nice easy fix. I'm gonna knock that out real quick. I'm good, thanks. I'm only just having my morning coffee, even though it's 2 in the afternoon. So I think I'm gonna get progressively more energetic as the stream goes on. We'll see. So what were some things I wanted to do? I wanted to adjust the start velocity. Right now it's at 1 pixel per second. 1 pixel per frame. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. And let me actually just get my calculator out, because we're dealing with, we're up to the goblin hours of the morning. Honestly, not really. I had kind of broken sleep. My cat tends to wake me up a lot in the night, so my sleep wasn't super great, and I've just been like slow getting started this morning, honestly. It's kind of slushy outside, so I was reluctant to go out to the coffee shop because it's pretty gross. So what should we set this to? I'm going to set this to, I don't think I want to quite do it in half. I think if I did it in half, it would be 2. So I'm going to shift it to the right twice, and we get 25. So what's 100 hex minus, wait, is this hex or, no, that's decimal. 100 hex shifted to the right twice is 40. So 100 minus 40 is C0. So we're going to set it to start off with to C0. C0. Write that in, and then write in a 0 for the other bit. And I'm going to do the same. It's just for this, but I'm going to entrust calculator with computing it for me. FF40. Actually, I can, instead of having calculator compute that for me, why don't I just have my assembler compute it for me? Because that's even nicer. So let's build that. Expressions must be 8-bit warning. Oh, that. I guess that's a reason to not have my assembler compute it for me, huh? Get rid of the warning. So let's load that up. Reload ROM. I barely notice a difference, but we're going to go with that anyways. And then the other thing I'm going to do is go here to the speed up routine. See, it works there without a warning. I'm going to just reduce that to 8. So that should, again, just be slightly... Oh dear. It actually feels like it's slowing down. I wonder if there's more bugs in this. Okay, well, in this case, I don't want to deal with a bunch of dumb physics bugs right now, so I'm gonna just ignore this. The other thing I wanted to do, I'll figure this out another time when I'm feeling a little more up for it. The other thing I wanted to do was yesterday I started adding a bunch of stuff into the V blank routine and the H blank routine that was only applicable in one game mode. It was only applicable when you're actually playing the game and not applicable when you are in a game over state or the title screen state. And I sort of started to feel like things were getting a little bit disorganized because then like the title screen needed to write the sprites enabled thing, and we had this v-blank flag and stuff, which we didn't really need, that we had to like be setting and resetting all the time in various places. And the whole thing started to feel kind of sketchy. So I gave it some thought, and I decided what I wanted to do is sort of, instead of having a single v-blank routine for every game mode, I wanted to like make it possible to just have any given game mode specify its own v-blank routine, and same with the stat interrupt here. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm just going to start the. Actually, I'll start with the stat because that's like slightly easier to do. So we're gonna just make this generic. So in order to save each different kind of interrupt from, or each different handler from needing to push all of these registers on its own, we're gonna, sorry, not B, C, D, E. I'm gonna, there we go. I wonder, is this gonna work? Awesome, cool. Oh, except I need to do it the other way around. Whoops. So, right, so I'm going to save all the registers. Should only take me a second to get, oh my gosh. So I learned how to type again. I'm gonna save all the registers. Just delete that for now. I can resuscitate it easily enough. I'm going to get I'm going to have a variable which I'm going to call stat handler, which is going to store a pointer to the function that we're going to call. I'm going to get that into HL. And then we need to do kind of this like trampoline thing, which I actually do. I think I've got a trampoline here as well. Run loop, yeah, run loop. Really what I should do is I should have some kind of like utility function called like run H or call HL or something like that. Because here's the thing, the Game Boy CPU has this instruction called jump HL, which will jump to whatever HL is pointing to, which is exactly what we want to do. But this is a jump instruction, not a call instruction. So if we used jump HL here, what would happen is the handler would return, and all of this would just get skipped. It would take whatever was on the top of the stack, which would be the return address for this, and would go back to there. So that's why we need to have this. This is called a trampoline sometimes. That's why we need to have it. So let's keep this here though. A little bit of duplicated code just really has never hurt anyone, so I should stop worrying about it. And then I want to have built in some kind of like dummy handler. And all that's going to do is just return immediately. Nothing to it. And I'm going to have this routine called init stat, which is going to just load it as the stat handler that we're going to use. So load A, load dummy handler, load HLI to A, and then load into HLI dummy handler. Okay. Honestly, I'm not even sure if that's ever going to actually be necessary, but I'm going to reuse the same pattern for vblank. So it's fine. And I might actually just take all of this and put this in a new file, because just to keep things organized. So there we go. So then what I want to do is in game, I want to have my old stat handler goes in here. Called game stat handler. No, there's far too many tabs. And then just, what was it? It was just this. I wanted to not copy in the nicest of ways, but it's fine. Okay, there we are. So this is the stat handler that I want. And then what I'm going to do is here in init game, or no, not in init game, in start game, I'm going to load game stat handler. Actually, I'm going to put this in a function or a procedure or whatever. Game stat handler, just to keep this as simple as possible, even though it's just a very quick copy. So all we're going to do is we're going to copy this in. So now, having done that, is there anything else I need to do? That feels pretty good to me. I called it, yeah, so I have this. Let's build, see if it builds. It doesn't because I forgot to add it to the make file that I need to refactor. There we go. File, reload ROM. How's it go? Does this work okay? It seems to be working okay, but let's see if the handler actually runs. And that did look like it ran perfect. Awesome, it looks like it worked perfectly. So let me just save that. Yep, that all looks great to me. Use, I don't know what I want to call it, function pointer for stat. And now I'm going to do the same thing with the VBlank routine, and this is where things are going to get a little bit more interesting. So I'm going to get rid of this sprites enabled flag. I'm going to get rid of, honestly, what I'm going to do is just, all this stuff can go now in the game section, so into the game code. So I'm going to put here, VBlank PS2. Just going to copy all this, or comment all that out for now. And then comment all this out now. And just do much the same thing as I did with the stat code. So I need to have a dummy handler. I might actually put this in another file even. So one second. Load HL VBlank handler, load A. HLI, load A, load LA, call run handler, pop everything off, and that's it. So next I'm going to grab some of those things from stat, the dummy handler and the run handler. And I'll need to export those. But I'm just going to save that into a file called handlers.asm. Make sure to remember to add it to the make file again this time. H comes after G. Okay. Sorry, I know this isn't the most exciting sort of programming, this kind of refactoring stuff like janitorial work. But it's like, honestly, it's so important. Anytime you're working on anything that's like, it's important in two cases. In one case, when you're working on anything that is kind of like big and so big that you can't easily keep everything in your head. And it's important whenever you're working on something with other programmers. So it's like actually super, super important to be a good janitor. I would say that like far and away, as a professional programmer, I spend more time cleaning up code and trying to understand other people's code than writing it or being clever or anything. So okay, so I've done this, so that means that I can actually comment all of this out, and this, and I'm just going to do that thing where I copy the dummy routine in. Exactly, yeah, absolutely. And it's not even just, it totally is like finding where you put stuff, but it's also like anytime you have the technical term is mutable state. Like anytime you've got like a variable that's in one file that can be modified by another file, like shared mutable state, it becomes so hard to think about like what's changing what, where, and when, and um, it's like you just completely fry your brain trying to figure all that stuff out and to like understand what's going on. And that is not what we want. So, okay, so that's why I just think it's like really, really important to do all this stuff. So I'm going to copy and paste all of this, and I'm going to call this game v blank, I guess. So what do we do here? We get rid of these two things. Did I have a... Okay, no. Get rid of these two things. So now, and we're going to get rid of this, and we're going to get rid of this, actually. We're basically just going to uncomment a lot of the existing code and simplify it a little bit. So now what do we have here? Well, we don't need the sprites enabled thing because the sprites are enabled when you're playing the game. Like, the only reason we need to run this on every frame is because we temporarily disable the sprites. We temporarily disable the sprites to hide them when they go underneath the status bar. And now that we're only calling this routine in game mode and not on the title screen and not on game over, like we always need to re-enable the sprites because we're always hiding them and we always want them enabled. So enable sprites. All this, the rest of this stuff though, does stay the same. I'm not going to touch any of that. I am going to restore this though. Whoops. I don't know what I just did there, but I did not want to do it. I'm still definitely getting used to using Visual Studio Code. It's what all the cool kids are using. It's definitely the best thing to use, but okay. Right, so now I don't need to think about this enable sprites variable. I'm gonna, I know I don't have this in, it's got really, really big, okay. Not open file game v blank dot. Did I make a typo or no? There's a. Oh, okay, right. I need a section. Haha. Yeah, that checks out. V blank RAM. RAM 0. Now I can delete all of this, all of these, and all of that. Sweet. So now, and then I can get rid of yes, nice, okay. Call init game v blank. Perfect. And then I can put like yes, put that in there. What else do I need to do? Actually, I'll take this opportunity to, in here, make this the VBlank handler. What do I call it? I could just call it VBlank in here. Load A, load HL, pi VBlank. Okay, so we've done that. That should get the game working. The only thing I need to worry about now is when we do this game over, I need to yeah, I can get rid of this sprites enabled, but I do need to call in VBlank, and that's just going to reinstall the dummy handler, right? Yeah, and that's what I want. So, and I probably need to do that. That's probably the only place I really need to do that. And then I need to get rid of this some other stuff that I don't need to worry about anymore. Sprites enabled. I can get rid of that. That's no longer a thing. I can get rid of sprites enabled here as well. No, there's nowhere else to use it. In title screen, I can get rid of sprites enabled. And I guess technically, if I wanted to be really careful, I could reinitialize the VBlank handler in here as well. And that would be kind of nice because there'd be this symmetry, like all of the different game modes initialize their VBlank handler. But in this case, you can't get, for now it's fine. This may end up biting me later, but for now, the only way you get to the title screen is from when you first start the game up and we initialize the VBlank handler on startup. To be the dummy handler, and from the game over screen. And the game over screen uses the same VBlank handler for now. So for now, this is fine. The only thing, where is that everything? Oh, in game VBlank, I use VBlank handler, which does not exist apparently. Did I screw something up here? Oh yeah, I didn't make this global. That was the problem. Okay, there we go, and it builds, and let's see how disastrous this is. Yeah, right now there isn't another case where you need to go to the title screen, and I can't, off the top of my head, think of one, but there might be something like, I'm going to maybe want to add some special effects to the title screen, which are going to make the sort of VRAM stuff we do in VBlank more complicated. So I might want to add a bunch of a special VBlank handler for the title screen to do that kind of thing, special effects or something. And in that case, I need to make sure to remember to initialize that properly. Yeah, everything looks like it's working okay. Let me just test the transition from the game to the game over screen to the title screen. Cool. That is what I was going for. So let's get the rest. So I just feel like that is going to be, I mean, that somehow ended up saving me a ton of code. I'm not even sure how that's possible. Unless that count isn't accurate for whatever reason. But cool. So let me go open up this document. I think the thing to do, well, I'm at 40 minutes already, although there was some startup time. I'm going to get started on the 8x4 stuff. So how I'm going to do the 8x4 stuff is I'm going to try to sort of do this surgically. So let's see. Instead of having this here, I'm going to do that. Okay, we still haven't overshot, or yeah, of course we haven't. That's going to be 48 bytes. So we're gonna need a separate tile. I'm not gonna try to do anything really fancy where I like try to construct the tiles dynamically. Like Game Boy tiles are 8x8, which means that if we have 8x4 bricks, we're gonna need a tile with the top brick, a tile with the bottom brick, a tile with both bricks. I'm not gonna try to do anything clever like draw all of those bricks out or whatever. And if things start to get overwhelming, if I start adding in multiple brick types and stuff, and there becomes like a combinatorial explosion, I'm just gonna, I might write a program to generate the brick images, but for now I'm just gonna do this by hand. Let's start with the top brick. And then what? Yeah. Easy. This is going to be the bottom brick. How did it? Oh, that's why. I copied too much. And now both bricks. So let's build that. Let me reload the ROM, let me run it. So yeah, right now we're only seeing top bricks, but that's interesting. I would have expected there to be a tile there. I'm a little concerned about the omission there. Oh, why is that? I don't even know. I don't know why we've got tiles up there like that. That's weird to me, but no matter. There's our tiles. And then the next thing I need to do is I need to go into stage.asm. Right now I'm using this. So we're going to get to the point where I'm going to need to build some kind of, or figure out some sort of like system for actually editing the maps. Because well, for now this is okay. For now, if I just use these 4 characters, I'm fine. That's going to be B1, and that's going to be B2. Is there an easy way to find and replace? Replace hashtag with =. Place all. Oh, sorry, I need to rebuild, reload, run. So, yeah, there we go. That gets us our 8x4 bricks. I do. Hey, Mom, how's it going? Thank you for tuning in. So this gets us our 8x4 bricks. So I'm going to save this change. I mean, it's nice. It gets my numbers up, right? One step closer to affiliate status. Um, and the thing is I stream doing the New York Times Sunday crossword on Sunday night, and I inherited my love of crosswords from my mom, so it's actually like a nice family bonding thing or whatever to work on the crossword together. Um, so we have 8x4 bricks now, but of course they don't work like 8x4 bricks. I just hit them. Um, it is unfortunately me. If I could get Nelly to do anything useful, it would be great. It would help pay her rent. So these bricks are still, functioning exactly as they were before. So what do I need to do to change that? Well, what I need to do is when I detect the collision, I need to go look at the type of brick that I hit. And I need to look at where in the 8x4 column I am, or row or column I am. So let's go over to ball and go to check stage collide. So we go and we check to see if the tile is solid. Yeah, this is going to start getting weird though. Well, we can do it actually separately, and that'll help. So we check the stage collide. We return if it's 0, and then we need to do another check. I'm going to call this like check stage collide 8x4. And that'll probably work the same. Well, we'll see. I don't want to say how it's going to work until I write it to see how it goes. So what this means here is if we've gotten here, we know that we have the ball is within the 8x8 rectangle of a brick. So now what we need to do is we need to see, well, is it on the top or is it on the bottom? And to do that, we're going to get the ball, what did I call it? It's been so long since I worked on this. We're going to get the ball's pixel position, which is going to be in ball x+1. Just need to think this through completely because we want the y, not the x value, because they're 8x4, not 4x8. So we get the y position, and then we need to, and that's the top left. And we've done collision detection with the center. So we're going to add 4 to it. Is there a ball height? Okay. Add ball height divided by 2 to get to the center. And then what we want to do is we just want to find out between 0 and 8, like how far into the brick it is. And so the way we do that is we use an AND operation. And we're just going to get the lower 3 bits. And we just clear everything else out. And so that basically, like, mathematically speaking, gets you the remainder divided by 8. So we take that, and then so do we even want to do that? I mean, that's sort of what we want to do, but like what we really want to do is we want to see if it is greater than 4, and it's going to be greater than 4 whenever this bit is set. So what we actually want to do is take or greater than or equal to 4. So we're just going to actually AND out everything except for that single bit. And if that bit is set, we're gonna check stage collide 8x4 top. Otherwise, bottom. It's actually going to be bottom because of the way the coordinate system works. Otherwise, we do check stage collide 8x4 top if it's 0. And I might find some way to consolidate these two, but I'm just going to go with this for now and see how it goes. So let's start with top. And so what we're going to do here is, so far, HL contains the pointer to the stage map data. So we're going to load in the tile that we've collided with. Like, this is one of those things that I really don't like, because right now, like, I need to be conscious of the fact that we're kind of like threading through the value of HL throughout all of these procedures. And if at any point I inadvertently forget about that and change HL somewhere, like, things are going to go real bad. But for now it's okay. And if I end up needing to change HL, what I can always do is I can just write it into a temporary variable somewhere. Contains pointer to tile collided with. So I get whatever tile this is, and what I want to do is I just want to see, is this one of those tiles? Right. Is this one of the tiles which has a sorry, is this one of the tiles that has a brick in the top? So what's the nicest way to do this? One thing I was thinking of possibly doing is putting like the lower 4 bits corresponding to, what is B0 in hex anyways? Or in binary. But yeah, I can't really do that. I was hoping to use the lower 4 bits to encode which kind of brick is in the bottom half, and the upper 4 bits is which kind of brick is in the top half. But if I did that, it would start to collide with the fact that we've got B0 here. And I guess if I wanted to, I could try to move the tiles up to 8,000, and that would let me get away with that. Or down here, that would also let me get away with that. Because what is my, where's my tiles? Let me pop open the IO map. Yeah, maybe I should do that, actually. It's kind of, that would be kind of a really neat trick, I think. We still have, okay, no, we could get away with this. I could get away with this. I like this. So I do that to define which tiles I use. The only thing is now my load routine is going to get kind of weird, because I can't just copy in all the tiles one after the other without a lot of dead space. Although maybe dead space is the right way to do it. I don't know. 0. Let's put that here. That's 0, 1. I believe that is what I want to do. I want to have 16 blank tiles. Or no, I don't want 16 blank tiles. I actually want 15 blank tiles, as weird as that is. So I'm just using this assembler pseudo instruction to copy this 15 times over. Repeat it 15 times over. So 0, 1 plus 15 in hex is going to be 10. So that'll get us that. And this is enormously wasteful because I've got all these blank tiles. And then, oh, I don't know. I don't want rep 17. But it doesn't matter. Frankly, sorry. And then the only other thing is instead of copying it to 8B00, I'm going to copy it to 9,000. This might be too large. Yeah, expression must be 8-bit. So I'm going to need to turn this into a 16-bit loop, which is fine. Yeah, absolutely. If I ever start running out of space, I'll just compress these tiles and stuff. And I have a compression routine that I wrote like 5 years ago for the Game Boy, which I'm incredibly proud of. I think it might be the best piece of code I've ever written. It's like dead simple, and it gets like pretty good compression, especially for something as repetitive as this. So I'll just copy and paste that into this program and we're golden. But unknown symbol. Oh right, I didn't finish doing the rest of the code. But so now, because I'm using this particular format for the tiles, all I need to do is say, well, I'm looking at the top, so I and out the bottom, and I return if that's, and I just return. No. See, this is, yeah, this is going to need some work as well. But I'm just going to return, and this is going to improve things ever so slightly. But I'm going to need to do a little bit more still so that we actually clear the appropriate half of the block. Because right now it's just going to, you probably won't even notice a difference right now. It's just going to clear the block completely. But I do want to see if I've completely ruined things, you know. But like right now, it basically seems to be working okay. It's just not quite. We just still can't see any improvement. So what I want to do is, yeah, this whole clear collided brick is going to need some refactoring as well. So instead of clearing the brick here, I'm going to have to, and what I'm gonna do here is sort of the opposite of here. Here I was just looking at the top of the brick and being like, well, is it empty? And if it hasn't, like, we quit. Here I'm gonna get that brick again, and this time I'm gonna clear out the top half of the brick. And write it in. And what are we going to need to do here? All of this stuff will stay. I'm going to need to actually update some other stuff as well. There's just lots of little things I need to tweak. So like, for example, where I compute the total number of bricks that are in the stage, like now this is going to need to take this into account, and it's going to be add 1 if either half is set, or 2 if both halves are set. So that's also tricky. I'm going to look at the VRAM to make sure that we copied everything in okay. Did I do this? Did I test this properly? Oh, I totally didn't test this properly. Because, yeah, oh dear, okay. So many problems. Yeah, I didn't expect that this was going to be like an easy thing that I could just knock out in one day because, you know, it's complicated, really. Um, there's like a lot of things that need to change. Um, so why didn't that work? I really feel like that this copy loop should have been like the easiest thing. um, oh well. So it goes. So one problem that I have is like we are using the right tile here. It's just that it's not getting copied in. So why would that be? 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I mean this like feels like it should be right. Oh man, am I gonna have to go to the code? I might have to. So for today, what am I at? I'm at an hour. No, I can keep going. I'm gonna muscle on through. So I'm gonna reset it. We'll hit this copy loop. And I'm gonna go to BG tile data. And what's some stuff that I want to test? This is like the sort of thing that's really hard to debug. BC 130. I mean, do I have more tiles? Yeah, here's the rest of the tiles. Where are they at? They're at 120. I don't know, this feels pretty good to me. Am I overwriting it somehow? Is that what's happening? Let me check that out. No, that doesn't make any sense. Why would I ever be overwriting it? Well, I guess let me see, how many times do I copy? Like, am I copying okay? Like, this goes down to... Oh, what happened there? That felt weird to me. That felt like I copied one tile in and then suddenly stopped. Decrement C, if it's not 0, we loop. Decrement B, if it's not 0, we loop. That definitely felt suspect. Yeah. Yeah, no. Oh, I think I know what's going on. I know what's going on. All right, I'll do it this way. This is probably easier. Oh, hey Millie. I think I was making a real dumb mistake, and I'm gonna fix that right now. Hey internet, guess what? Here's my cat. So I'm going to decrement B and C, and then I'm going to check to see if either of them have anything in them, and if not, we loop. And that's quite a bit easier. I think the problem is that the way I was doing this loop just doesn't work for very specific circumstances, basically. So yeah, stay on camera, stay on my lap. Give the people what they want. So I think this will work. Fingers crossed. Yeah, that is what I wanted. There we go. Yes, and it's just that, no. Yeah, this needs to be shifted left by 1. Run, reset, run. Whoops, reload wrong. Run, enter. Clear the breakpoint. That doesn't need to be there. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Sweet. Okay. Next, I'm gonna change to make. I'm gonna worry about that later. What's the next change to make? So this all needs to stay the same and is generic between the two of them. This is going to need to change quite a bit. Or in particular, what needs to change is, wow, I didn't comment this at all. What was I thinking? My God. Holy smokes. So I'm pretty sure, what are we getting here? Right, okay, so we are getting, oh dear, oh no. So we're getting DE, right, okay, so we're getting the video memory address that we want to update. And this is what creates the update for the video memory. So I'm just gonna get all of this, cut that out. I'm actually going to put that increment score right down here. This is just going to be some real generic. I'm going to rename this to on-brick collide. And this is just going to be the code that we're going to use in both cases. That does not change at all, and it's just going to increment the score. It's going to add 1 to the total, or the number of bricks you've broken, and trigger the end game when that happens. And then here we've got this stuff. And what changes here? So none of this is actually going to change because we are still updating the same tile. And none of this is going to change because we are still registering an update. What is going to change is this here. None of this is going to change. Wow. Horrendous. Update. So what I'm going to do now actually is update map. So I know I just put all this here, but I'm going to take this all out again and put this into this routine. I'm going to pull all this out again. And I'm just going to stick this into a variable so I don't need to worry about it. So none of this changes. I'm going to call it, right, like compute this destination and put in DE. Then get pointer to next free update slot. And that's going to go into HL. Write destination. And then here, I'm going to get this from load a date tile. And then that stays the same. So then I get rid of this, and then all I need to do is write this to update tile. And then I can call update map. Update tile isn't a great name for this variable, given that it sounds kind of like this is a verb, update, and this is like tile. Whatever, naming stuff is hard, who cares? I'm going to call this. And also, a lot of this stuff needs to get factored out of the ball code, but whatever. And then I can just copy and paste that. And the only thing that changes is that we're now doing it with the top. You know, we're now checking into the bottom instead of the top. All of this stays the same. The only sad thing is now we're duplicating the reflect code a little bit more. But I don't want to have to deal with like figuring out a good way to you know, pass whether there was a collision back. So for now, I'm just gonna. Oh my gosh, Nelly, what is it? What's the matter? What's the matter? Are you mad that I'm not paying enough attention to you? Oh yeah, that's. I don't know if that's it, but that's all I can do. So. No, you do not want to be on my lap. Never mind. Okay. So I think that this should fix, I think that this should work. Check stage 8x4 bottom. Oh, I need to delete that. Clear collided brick. Oh, I need to, yeah, okay. I need to make this the same. Except I need to, oh no, yeah. Okay. So in that case, I will have a flag here. That's what I'm gonna have to do. Okay. So I'm gonna get rid of that. Turn 0. So because the reflection changes, and because I reuse this code, and things are getting super, super thorny, and I don't like how complicated things are getting, but does on-brick collide need HL? No, it doesn't. So I'm going to put that in here. I now have a flag which I'm going to set when we detect a collision. Whoops. I might put that. I'm going to have a flag that I set when I detect a collision, and that way we can just put the appropriate code in the appropriate place, basically. There we go. So it's all a little bit complicated and a little bit more spaghetti than I would like, but I think this should work okay. And all we do is we check to see, well, did we collide? And if not, if we did, then we call these routines. And these are just sort of the generic things that we call when you collide in the X direction, regardless of how we did it. And then this is the collision code that's specific for whether it was the top or the bottom. And then that way we can do something similar here in the Y direction. Same sort of thing. Is that everything? That builds. So that builds. Here's hoping that it actually. Oh, yeah, okay. Here's hoping that it actually works. If it works, that'll be it for today. We'll have a great success. And yeah, you can see it works, but it's a little bit overzealous in a lot of cases. Yeah, Nelly? And I think that's because it's actually detecting multiple collisions when it's just because the collision detection is so imprecise. But it works. It works. This is enough for me for the day. Let me tell you. I know that was. I feel like that maybe was a little bit hard to follow because I was kind of figuring it out as I went. But we have 8x4 bricks, and they work. Ellie's got the zoomies right now. So I feel really good about that. I'm just going to save all those changes to GitHub, and then I'm going to call it a day. I was honestly worried that was going to be harder than it was. I'm not even sure if I wanted to. I probably want to tweak the collision detection. Yeah, I think I do. Yeah, it doesn't need to be pixel perfect even. It just needs to be more precise. Because right now, all I'm doing is using the center of the ball, and that's just like way too loosey-goosey. Pixel perfect is actually probably a bad idea on the Game Boy. Like, it would be really hard to make that fast enough. I don't know. Are we starting? I haven't been paying attention to this, but like you can over here, that little thing there shows how much of the Game Boy CPU I'm using, and you can already start to see it. It's not bad, but it's starting to spike a little bit once I start dealing with these collisions. You can see it kind of bouncing up a little bit, and once we start having music playing, and maybe I start adding some like, I really want there to be like sort of explosion particle effects once you hit the bricks to like make it feel really crunchy. And once we start adding all of that, that's going to start creeping upwards and upwards. Pixel perfect collision detection is just like, it's going to kill the CPU. But doing like a bounded box test where you just test like the corners, that'll probably be good enough. So that's probably what I'm going to have to do. But for now, man, it's honestly, it's working pretty darn well. So I feel awesome about that. I've never made a breakout game. I've made on the Game Boy. I've made various types of games. Never anything like this. I've never done these 8x4 tiles before. This was all stuff I figured out as I went. So the fact that it worked as well as it did feels awesome. Oh, actually, one other thing I want to do. Initialize the total bricks. So right now, it thinks that we have 72 bricks instead of what we actually have, which is 144 bricks. So let me just fix that real quickly. So I'm going to check the bottom brick. If it's 0, I'm going to jump to the top, otherwise I'm going to C, and then top. I'm going to get that brick again. I'm going to and FO, if that's 0, I'm going to go decrement B. So we get the brick at the given slot in the map. We check the bottom. If the bottom has a brick in it, we increment C. We get the brick again. This time we move to the next slot on the map, knock our counter down, then check to see if the top is set. No, I can't do it like that. Never mind. Okay, so dot, I'll just call it dot Z, for lack of a better name. I think there's anonymous labels that I could use that I don't ever actually bother using. That's probably what would be appropriate here. And then I increment C for the top, and then here I decrement B. And I can just keep this code. And that should do it. So I have faith that this is correct. Let me reload the ROM. Let me hit run. Let me press enter. Let me go to total bricks. And it is set to 90, which that's probably right. What's 90 hex? Oh, and I want a word, so it doesn't. Yeah, 144. That's exactly what I wanted. I believe that this is correct. There we go. Now I really, really, legitimately, truly have 8x8 bricks working. All right. Thank you so much for watching and bearing with me through all of that nonsense. That is it for today. Tomorrow, Oh God, tomorrow. I want to put off doing that collision detection, but I think it's what I'm gonna have to do tomorrow. Yeah, of course. I'm absolutely happy to. Um, I think that's what I got to do tomorrow. I got to get that collision detection improved. Um, and that's just going to take up the entire day. I know it for a fact. So that's what we're doing tomorrow. Take it easy. Have a good rest of your Monday. Tuesday. What day is it today? It was a holiday yesterday. That's why I thought it was Monday. It's Tuesday today. Have a good rest of your Tuesday. I will be back tomorrow. Take it easy. I am